everyone. Welcome back to Destination Truth. It's late and I couldn't help but make a video about this because I saw a good amount of footage, coverage from the left and the right on this. And what it is about is the DCCC's emergency meeting held by Sherry Bustos that basically led to the resignation of over half a dozen staffers at the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. And I mean, the DCCC is really important for the 2020 election. It's very important. They directly help people that run for office. They help get potentially a president elected. Okay, so they help with the campaign in many, many ways. So this resignation of people is really important. And what I didn't hear coming from the propagandists and, the mainstream, including the left and the right, Fox News, for example. And keep in mind, Fox News uses propaganda just like the left. It's just a little bit more, a lot more moderate. But they still do lie quite a bit. Even today, you'll hear them dropping 9/11, this and that, and patriotic things. The right has basically become a vehicle to drive patriotism, and that's about it. And also, whenever Republicans are in office, other than right now with Trump, usually it's to put the usual watchdogs of progressives and radicals to sleep so that they can pass insane deals like omnibus spending deals, as well as things like the Patriot Act, for example. So, Republicans, Democrats, both seriously problematic for this country to survive, especially because, guess what? We don't have a Democratic Party anymore. Let me elaborate. So, with the resignation of Allison Jaslow, who is Allison Jaslow is one of the directors, as well as Jared Smith, the communications director, Molly Rittner, the political director, Melissa Miller, the communications director's aide, Nick Panazio, the deputy executive director. Now, all those names have something very in common, and it's that they sound white. They sound very white. But also, so did Van Ornelas, which was the director of diversity. They resigned too. And I'm guessing they were Hispanic. I don't know. I don't have the time of day to search these people out, honestly, because it doesn't matter what their skin color is. It doesn't matter. But they got ousted out. Why is that? Well, there's growing concerns over diversity, according to everyone that's basically publicized this event that happened yesterday night. And what are they all saying about it? Well, that it was a tragedy. It was a heated night of real talk and such. And what's really frightening is that what in reality is happening is communists are simply taking over. This is how it happens. Communists either take over by force or by subversion, which is how they've been doing it in America for a long, long time, because America, unlike other countries, has guns. So they have to subvert us. They cannot, no country can actually invade us and hold us very easily. There's way too many guns here. It's the last place on earth that any country wants to try to invade and hold by force. It's just not going to happen. So, basically, these people were forced to resign because of their skin color. But not just that. It's also their ideology. Let me read part of a article for you from Breitbart. The article says, basically, in January, Bustos received pushback from groups such as Justice Democrats, which is funded by Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. He's a communist sympathizer. Everyone at the Young Turks is a communist sympathizer. And they're also funded by George Soros. So if you ever hear Justice Democrats, or who put Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in power. They ran an audition. She auditioned. She got the part. She's an actress, if you didn't already know. I don't know about the other people in the what they're calling the squad. The squad is 4 congresswomen of color. The only 4. And this is not to get off topic, but to go on. In January, Bustos received pushback from Democrats, from groups such as the Justice Democrats, who said she needs to support more progressive politics. We do not support Cherry Bustos as leader of the DCCC, said spokesman Waleed Shahid. Bustos has not supported progressive policies like Medicare for all, free college, the Green New Deal, and ending private prisons and the immigration detention facilities. All of those things are a destruction of this country. This country can't... We don't have time to go into why even one of those things, like the Green New Deal, would destroy the country. It bankrupted overnight. We don't have the money for it. It's that simple. So I'm not going to go into depth here. What I am going to go into is the fact that if you know anything about communism, or if you don't, read this book. I highly recommend it. I think I already did a book review of this. Check it out. Great book. Amazing. But this is communists taking over the Democratic Party. And this, if you're doubting me, this is why you see all of the Democratic candidates for president, they're all going extremely to the left. They're going crazy far to the left right now. And that's because they're fighting to have a chance to stay relevant, basically. They know, deep down, they know communists have subverted their party. If they want to stay in power, they have to toe the party line. If they do not stay progressive and accept and go radical left, they will not be relevant. This is sadly why the only Democratic candidate, in my opinion, that really matters is the Asian guy. I forgot his name. It's late, guys. I'm sorry. But he's a moderate, for one. For two, he's highly intelligent. And he's not insane. But there's no way he's going to be even in some of the farther debates. Because, one, I already know that they're cutting out his mic intentionally so that he could not refute things being said about him and such. So they're going to cut him out at the soonest opportunity they get, one. Two, he's already asking people for money just so that he can get in debates. This man may be a successful businessman, but he's not a communist. The communists will cut him out. Communist powers are like the George Soros type money rollers, okay? The communists want to get absolute power over the entire world, and the United States is the last saving grace of the planet. We are the resistance. We are the resistance. And so they're going to try everything to overthrow our country because the Democrats do have, well, not for long in my opinion, but they do have the majority numbers, especially if they're allowed to have the national census continually counting illegal immigrants as citizens. Because trust me, if we can exclude them from our census, the Democrats would lose so many representatives. It would be a landslide. That alone could save America if we could do that. If we could do that, and Trump can get 1 or even 2 more Supreme Court justices, I mean, we could save America. I mean, he could. It's like a movie, guys. Like, he is saving America. We just have to expose communism for what it is. It's trying to take over America in ways that we've never seen before, guys. And this is no joke. This is scary. This is scary stuff. These people were forced to resign. Forced to. I don't know what was said in that room. But if there could have been threats involved with their jobs or livelihoods. I have no idea. I'm sure they weren't threatened like their life, but basically they were all too white. And there's no room for diversity of whites anymore. They have to get more racially diverse because they don't care about ideas with the Democrats anymore. And obviously the squad, by the way, is being very effective. I'm not going to go into this. I'm trying to end this video now. But the squad is basically all of these, like I said, Democratic women of color in Congress who are being very effective and being very progressive. And basically the communists are saying that somehow that's working and they're going to try to reinforce them. So anyways, sorry guys, I have to interrupt myself to say, to share one quote from Allison Joslow, who quit in the beginning of this emergency DCCC meeting that was held by Chairwoman Cherry Bustos. So, in the beginning of the meeting, Allison Joslow quit, but she shared this quote, which I think is worth sharing because it's angering to me, and it should be to you. So here's what she said. She said, "When I was in 8th grade, I decided that my life would be dedicated to serving my country. I did that, first in uniform, but since have tried to be a force of good in our politics." Okay, here's my problem. If you want to be a force of good, that's one thing. That's all she said, so she's not lying. But if she wants to defend America against enemies, foreign and domestic, she did not do that. She did not do that at all. Communists are taking over our government, starting with the Democratic Party, and many rhinos as well, Republicans in name only. There's many of them. A lot of these politicians are bought off. And by stepping down, she's opening the gates, the floodgates, if you will, to guaranteeing that a communist becomes the number one runner-up for president in 2020. So it is almost guaranteed now that it'll be Trump versus communism. Let's get back to the rest of my video. The good news is this. Here's a silver lining that I'm going to end with. Most of this country is still filled with moderates, and they are so disappointed with what they see happening in the Democrats and the left. The Democrats on the left are literally being backed up by the mainstream media the same way everyone was being backed up during the 2016 election. So they think like, oh, cool, the media's got our back. We'll get the votes. Guess what, guys? No, you're not going to get the votes. You're freaking insane. You're insane if you're thinking you're going to get the votes. Unless you can hack our elections the way that I personally think over 2 million votes were hacked in the 2016 election. And I know there's a lot of meddling in our election from within our country, not the Russians. 2 million votes. That's an insane amount. Anyway, I don't mean to bring up the 2016 election too much right now. It's late and I'm trying to go to bed. But guys, I think 2020 election is in the bag. With the left eating themselves alive, literally, and letting communists take over, their agenda is becoming more and more clear every single day. And Americans are still waking up to this big movement. And America is not just dead yet. There's a lot of stupid, brainwashed people in this country. But if you're watching this video, you're not one of them. You're really not. And I don't have to give you hours and hours of evidence. This stuff is kind of obvious. It's obvious, isn't it? I mean, come on. I am 99% sure at this moment, now I might change, but at this moment, I'm almost guaranteeing a Trump victory in 2020. So, if you support that and the saving of America, rest easy, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.